Takirwa, honorable members of parliament, senior government leaders, UPDF generals and senior officers, friends and foreign mourners. Amazina ganji Lieutenant General Joseph Musanyufu. Nikoraka Permanent Secretary, Minister of Internal Affairs, Minister General David Muhoozi yampa message ye niyo ndazi bashobere. Uganda kachishomere nyela kwanza kugamba ngulu. Major General Francis Takirwa ni mugenzi wanje, is a colleague. We joined the army around the same time, like the Deputy CDF said, we were the same cohort, we have grown together, and we have served together. So I would be here to escort my colleague and friend. Konka bantu mbere Minister kokuyantuma munchirize nsome message yenko kweli nakajwanzi. I request to read the minister's message as is to all of us. Condolence message for the family of the late Major General Francis Takirwa. Condolence to the family, the UPDF, government, and the country for this big loss. Loss is measured by life's worth, but also by impact. Every human is precious. The extent of the basic fact of life, of humanity. But beyond that, we each have our individual attributes and how we apply our human life while we live. Takirwa falls in the exceptional category of people who lived his life with positive effect and impact. As living organisms, we come and ultimately we must go. The difference is when and how. From a human perspective, the question that is always asked is, what has he or she left behind? Yatsugashi. This question is mostly to do with physical life and its endurance through others, meaning wife, kids, and the rest. Yasiga omukazi n'akaana nali n'abaana sasa yasiga omwozo yasiga bishiki bonka or even more coldly n'enchwekye tiyasiga abaana etc. But gladly, from the physical point of view, General Francis Takirwa yasiga abaana, yasiga omukazi, yasiga n'eka. But most importantly, Takirwa yasiga ekirali kye byakozere omu magara ge ebiragumeho n'obwarabe yarugaho physically. So, he is immortalized by his durable impact on his immediate family, his comrades, the entire UPDF, government, country at large, and friends from far and wide. I therefore extend my heartfelt condolences to you for the loss of a fine human being, husband, father, uncle, cousin, son, a friend, a soldier, an officer, a gentleman, and a general. In the same vein, I would like to thank God for his impactful life and his monumental contribution as one of the country's finest warriors. We do commend and salute him and celebrates him, he will be indeed greatly missed. My personal account with General Takirwa. I first met General Takirwa at cadet school in 1988 at School of Infantry, Jinja. We formed the first large and longest homegrown officer cadet cohort of the National Resistance Army, drawn from within the ranks, that is, the serving soldiers. The NRA had expanded quickly and needed to match its numerical strength with an appropriate corps of officers. In 1987, we had a shorter, smaller intake of officers trained at Jinja and others in Nigeria and Munduli in Tanzania. But the need was bigger. Therefore, they selected soldiers from units, about 450 of us, and took them to the School of Infantry in Jinja in 1988. Among these was Takirwa, myself, that's General David Muhoozi, and others like General Mubarak Muganga, the CDF of RDF, Lieutenant General Joseph Musanyufu, Lieutenant General Okiding, Major General Kagoro, Major General D. Kolum, who were later joined by Major General Kasitagowa, Brigadiers Bagonza, Okolon, Bosa, Solomon Amanya, and others. I want to ask that if there are any members of the 01 Long, please step forward so that we pay our respects. The Deputy Commander had already called them. I think we can just stand again to be recognized. We started the course run by Tanzanians at the beginning of 1988 and completed on April 21st, 1989, when we were commissioned as second lieutenants, and only 263 out of the original 250 finished. Many failed, all were discontinued from the course. After that training, we were deployed to different units, but kept our bond for life. We again met at Munduli in Tanzania 10 years later as young captains to train as company commanders. This is when Takirwa earned himself the name Attrition Commander. Warfare and how it is conducted evolves because of many influences and innovations, including technology. You can now see the effect of drones as an example. In olden times, it was mainly wars of attrition, destruction of everything in your way, including the enemy and his facilities. Then, maneuver warfare was conceived and emphasized, targeting the enemy's means to make war his center of gravity, his critical enablers and critical vulnerabilities. Now, General Takirwa was fond of teasing colleagues during exercises, depending on how you executed your command. If you incur losses as you engage the enemy, he would call you Attrition Commander. If you incurred losses or minimum losses, but defeated the enemy with minimal destruction, he would call you Maneuver Commander. That was Takirwa, and his lighter humorous side. He was very humorous, and he was apparently endowed with that. And we called Takirwa Maneuver Commander. We celebrate Major General Francis Takirwa, the giant in very many aspects. A good and fine human being. Large heart, selfless, amiable, calm and collected, disciplined and respectful to superiors, colleagues, and subordinates. Dependable and fiercely loyal to family, Commander-in-Chief, UPDF, and friends. Courageous, a commander and distinguished leader. infectiously jolly and humorous. And finally, a soldier's soldier. I want to thank the President for seeing Takirwa. I want to thank His Excellency the President for seeing Takirwa and his family for bringing forth a son that is visible enough because of his worth to be seen and tasked variously by the Commander-in-Chief through various assignments that he held. We thank his rich family lineage and their big contribution to the country in various ways. Their father, shepherd of many souls. Our Bishop Johnson Muhoozi, same line. Takirwa, the warrior. John Kazora, another distinguished officer of the NRA. Honorable Miriam, and Barnabas Mwesika, the soccer icon. To his children, to the children of Takirwa, there are no excuses for being mediocre. You have that big family and brand to keep alive. Thank you, UPDF, for taking care of General Francis during his ailment and this defeating send-off. He earned it, and you have given it to him. Although General Francis is physically gone, he still lives on through his works of everlasting impact. At this time, I want to ask the band please, play our common song, Kazi Olio Nituma Nimaliza. That signifies the distinguished service of Major General Francis Takirwa and accomplishments of his earthly work as a fine soldier and human being. Enclosed is 5 million contribution towards the burial expenses. May General Francis Takirwa so rest well in peace. Signed, David Muhoozi, PSC RCD MP, General Minister of State for Internal Affairs. I thank you.